Hey there, thank you for watching JeeMoney. I'm your host, JeeMoney, and I'm here to help you understand money, understand finances, understand economics, so that you can invest in your future. Today is the first of our series on what is money and why is it so important. So let's get started. You know, it is said that money is the root of all evil. Well, what is it about money that drives men so crazy that they want more? You should know what this is. This is $100 from a popular board game. And while you're playing the board game, you might find this incredibly important, but in the grand scheme of things, if I did this, you really won't care. So now, we have this. Ooh, we all know what this is. This is a $100 bill. And nobody would ever dare to do this. So we know that money drives a lot of men crazy. And they'll do almost anything for it. We gotta think, why is that? Let's go way back to the dawn of man. And imagine there's a caveman, and his name is Fred. Look at that handsome devil, sporting a fashionable unibrow. Well, Fred and his family need some food to survive, and then they need a house and some furniture and some clothes. Let's say Fred is really good at making the food, and it takes him 5 months to make enough food for his family to survive for a year. But it also takes him another 7 months to make all the rest, because he's okay at making that, but he's not as good. Well, what goes into making all this? His time. It takes resources. In the case of food, it takes land, it takes some seeds, it takes water. Let's say in the case of houses and furniture, it takes wood, it takes skilled labor, it takes time. So let's say we have these 4 components: time, resources, labor, skills. That goes into any one of these things that someone needs in their life. Now let's say that there's another caveman, Barney, and he also needs all these things. But in Barney's case, let's say it takes him 7 months to grow the food, because he's not as good, but he's really good at building things. So that takes him 5 months to build all that, but 7 months to grow the food. Fred and Barney, they say, hey look, Fred, it takes you 5 months to grow enough food for your family, and it takes you 5 months to grow enough food for my family. And then Barney says, it takes 5 months for me to build all this stuff. I can take another 5 months to build enough stuff for your family. I work 10 months out of the year, and you work 10 months out of the year. So Fred thinks this is a great idea. And this is called specialization. Specialization is focusing on what you are really good at. And overall, you've increased everyone's productivity and everyone's wealth. So what did they do next? Well, Fred takes some of his stuff and sends it over to Barney. And Barney takes some of his stuff and sends it over to Fred. That is called bartering. So in the beginning, bartering was a way that people traded. And it worked when you had a very small ecosystem and everyone was producing goods that everyone else needed. But bartering has a few problems. One problem bartering has is the coincidence of wants. Well, think of Barney. It took him 5 months to build a house, furniture, a set of clothes for Fred. Now Fred is good for that year. But think about it, he's also good for next year. So Fred is still growing all this food, and Barney needs food for the second year. So the coincidence of wants fails. Fred no longer wants more furniture. So now Barney still needs food, and he's stuck. So let's bring in a third participant in the system. His name is Dino. Now Dino does not offer any goods, he offers a service. He offers a transportation service. So when Fred needs to transport his food to another person, he no longer has to spend the time or the labor. Perhaps maybe he doesn't have the resources, i.e. a horse or a buggy or a wagon, to send it over. So he relies on Dino to do this. Well, think of Barney. Barney can now give Dino a new house and furniture and clothes. But then again, he only needs it one time. But he still needs Dino's services. So again, coincidence of wants fails in this regard. Another failure of the bartering system is the proper evaluation of one's goods. Barney can't always price his house in terms of vegetables like celery. How do you do that? That's not very easy to do. And how many trips is Dino going to make to earn that house that Barney just built? So we have a problem in coincidence of wants, and we have a problem in valuation. And these are the 2 biggest problems of bartering amongst others. So what we need is a resource that is a happy medium that everyone agrees on, that is useful to them, and that they can better price their goods in this happy medium. And this happy medium is called money. Now money can actually be anything. In the beginning, well, What did they use as money? They used grain and cows. Cows? What are cows good for? Now, after a while, they decided, well, these things are not so durable. Cows die, grain can rot, bugs can get in it, and there goes your money. So what people eventually decided to trade in was a currency called gold. Now, why did they choose gold? Well, gold, it's nice and shiny. It's durable, it doesn't rust, and everyone desires it. So what they would do is they would trade gold nuggets and eventually gold coins with one another, and eventually they added silver as one of those shiny metals that caught everyone's eye. So now we have gold as our medium of exchange. But let's go back to the very beginning again. What does money or gold really represent? So what money represents is time, labor, skills, and resources. And so somebody will put those four things into something that they create or they produce, and they trade that for money. Because in the end, what they're going to do is they're going to take that money and trade it for something else that required time, skills, labor, and resources to produce. So when you think about those dollar signs and that you're going crazy about money, well, think about you're just looking for time, labor, skills, and resources. And this is going to be a recurring theme that we're going to hit over and over and over again. And you've got to ration that time properly. You got to ration your labor properly so that you get the most bang for your buck, so you can invest properly in your future. And we will talk more in depth about these topics in upcoming episodes. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.